Have you ever heard of the Voynich Manuscript? This manuscript is an ancient manuscript that was found. It's hundreds of years old. They don't know the language, they don't know anything about it. They don't know if it's just nonsense, if some guy was just practicing scribble, but it's like really long. A cutting-edge artificial intelligence system appears to have made a significant breakthrough in decoding the elusive Voynich manuscript, an enigma that has baffled researchers for over 6 centuries. This 15th-century relic, infamous for its cryptic illustrations and unreadable script, might finally be giving up its secrets. Experts are astonished by emerging clues that point to a cryptic language and unsettling messages. A mysterious artifact from the medieval era, often considered one of the most perplexing remnants of medieval Europe, the manuscript has captivated historians for decades. Radiocarbon dating places its vellum between the years 1404 and 1438, suggesting it was created during a significant era of cultural and scientific change. Unlike other texts from this period, which typically have identifiable authors or traceable origins, this manuscript is completely anonymous with no known author, origin, or references to parallel works. It exists in isolation, resisting every scholarly effort to decode its content. Its allure isn't restricted to historians or archivists. Over the last 100 years, the Voynich has drawn the attention of cryptographers, linguists, spiritualists, and casual code enthusiasts alike. While many medieval manuscripts have religious themes or recognizable language patterns, the Voynich remains silent on its intentions. Specialists in code breaking have deployed every tool from frequency analysis to multi-alphabet ciphers, only to hit a wall every time. What further confounds experts are the manuscript's strange visuals. Many pages show plants somewhat familiar in form but unidentifiable by known botanical standards. Other pages feature what appear to be cosmic diagrams or spinning wheels that suggest astronomical or astrological meanings. One particularly puzzling section depicts tiny nude figures seemingly immersed in elaborate tubes or baths. These visuals defy alignment with conventional medieval art or symbolism, leaving interpretations wide open. Given the unreadable script, the theories are as wild as they are varied. Some speculate it's a disguised herbal guide. Others believe it's an alchemical or esoteric document designed to guard hidden knowledge. A smaller group suspects it's an elaborate ruse meant to dupe collectors. However, the structured repetition within the script implies intentionality and internal logic, something so unique or complex that it continues to stump even modern readers. With the advent of artificial intelligence, however, a long-standing question has re-emerged: could machines accomplish what human minds could not? The manuscript's physical makeup and surreal artwork are just as intriguing as the script. It consists of roughly 240 vellum pages made from treated animal skin, an expensive and durable medium usually reserved for valuable or important works. The manuscript remains surprisingly well preserved, its inks and pigments retaining much of their original vibrancy. Across the pages, bizarre plant-like illustrations dominate, typically centered on the page and framed by blocks of text. These figures resemble botanical drawings but only loosely. Many plants appear to merge characteristics from multiple species or exhibit entirely fantastical features, frustrating any attempts at proper identification. Botanists often find themselves stumped. The leaves may recall one genus while the flowers mimic another. There is also a section interpreted as astronomical or cosmological, featuring diagrammatic circles, radiating lines, and repeated patterns. These motifs may be referencing zodiac systems, planetary motion, or annual cycles. Astrology was widely respected in medieval academia, yet this manuscript doesn't align with common symbols or Latin celestial terminology. Some diagrams could represent calendar systems or planetary models, but the accompanying text remains cryptic. In another curious segment, the pages show women often unclothed engaged with what look like strange bathing mechanisms. Tubes weave between tubs, sometimes suspended above or winding below. Scholars have guessed these might depict health rituals, fertility rites, or symbolic therapies. However, the imagery doesn't correspond with any known sources on medieval medicine or hygiene, leaving room for speculation. A notable consistency ties all sections together: the writing. The glyphs, line arrangements, and overall formatting remain uniform throughout, suggesting a single scribe or perhaps a closely coordinated team dedicated considerable effort to crafting a document with a unified system. The consistent handwriting and structured layout imply deliberate design, though its purpose remains a mystery. Early attempts by code breakers and scholars long before computers were up to the task. Early researchers applied traditional decoding strategies to the Voynich puzzle. In the early 1900s, both trained cryptanalysts and curious hobbyists studied the script, employing techniques used to decipher ancient and early modern codes. Frequency tracking, pattern recognition, and word structure analysis were all attempted, usually without success. Some early breakthroughs turned out to be mirages. One notable example occurred in the 1920s when an American researcher suggested Roger Bacon, a 13th-century philosopher, authored the manuscript to encode advanced scientific knowledge. The theory collapsed under closer inspection, with neither the cryptographic method nor the attribution holding up to scrutiny. Many such claims followed the same path. Brief hope followed by disillusionment. During World War II and the years that followed, professional code breakers, veterans of complex military ciphers, also gave it a shot. Their expertise covered everything from monoalphabetic to polyalphabetic systems, yet even their best efforts couldn't yield a viable interpretation. Over time, the manuscript came to be known as the unbreakable cipher, further cementing its reputation as a historical anomaly. Even with the computing power of the 1980s and 90s, progress was minimal. Large-scale statistical analyses on early digital machines failed to uncover any meaningful patterns. The text didn't conform to the structure of Indo-European languages, nor did it resemble East Asian writing systems. Some hypothesized it was a made-up language or an artificially constructed one, but the sheer consistency of the script made it hard to dismiss as pure invention. Interestingly, each generation's approach reflected its technological environment. Early analysts leaned on pen and paper ciphers and substitution tables, later ones turned to statistical and computational modeling. Yet the manuscript resisted them all, reinforcing the belief that if it could be cracked at all, it would require the intervention of machine learning or artificial intelligence. AI enters the arena. With rapid advances in computing, many saw artificial intelligence as the most promising avenue for finally unlocking the Voynich manuscript. AI systems excel at spotting patterns and linguistic regularities that would escape human analysts. Since many ciphers hinge on repeated character groups and distribution patterns, researchers hoped AI might uncover underlying logic where traditional methods had failed. To that end, digitized versions of the manuscript were fed into natural language processing tools. These systems examined how symbols were distributed, what combinations reappeared, and whether any elements mirrored known grammatical structures. Instead of hunches, AI relied on statistical probabilities to find connections to real languages, even those heavily altered or disguised. This approach offered real promise. If AI could link the text structure to an obscure dialect or ancient language, it could be the breakthrough everyone had waited for. Even if the words were scrambled or substituted, the underlying syntax might still reveal familiar patterns. Still, the challenge remained enormous. With no context, the chances of false matches or meaningless overlaps loomed large. Meanwhile, greater access to high-quality scans enabled researchers around the world to run their own experiments. AI was applied not just to text analysis but to the shapes of the characters, the layout of paragraphs, and even the ink's color gradients. Every piece of data became a potential clue. Yet the ultimate challenge persisted: could anyone link the Voynich's cryptic text to a verifiable system of writing?